Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint Podcast.
Yes, welcome back.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's really relevant, especially for American retirees like you. We're talking about gold IRAs
That's right.
and how they can kind of play a part in taking control of your retirement savings,
Yes,
adding a layer of security to what you've already built,
absolutely.
and maybe even building a legacy for you and your family.
For sure.
So we're going to unpack all that today. We'll go through IRS guidelines, explore the tax advantages, and see how gold IRAs can fit into your overall retirement strategy.
Yeah, what's really interesting about gold IRAs is that they offer a way to diversify your savings beyond just the typical stocks and bonds, and you're doing it with something tangible,
Right.
something that you can actually hold physical gold.
Exactly. That's one of the things that's so appealing to people about it. It's not just
Right.
numbers on a screen. It's an actual asset you can hold, and for a lot of people, that tangibility just makes them feel better.
Yeah, it offers a sense of security,
Yeah.
especially in uncertain economic time.
For sure, that's right. Gold has always kind of been seen as a safe haven during those times
That's right.
of economic turmoil.
Yep.
Now, before we get too far, if you are ready to explore gold IRAs further, we do have a free checklist
Nice.
available to help you choose the right gold IRA company.
Yes.
You can find that at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
All right, so let's unpack this.
Now let's do it.
When you hear IRA, you probably think stocks and bonds,
Mm-hmm.
but a gold IRA is a little bit different.
Yeah.
What makes it stand out?
Well, tell me.
The big difference is that with a gold IRA,
Okay.
they're holding actual physical gold.
Got it.
So that could be gold coins.
Okay.
It could be gold bars.
Mhm.
And those are held within your retirement account.
Okay.
Now, the IRS, of course, they've got some guidelines about the types of gold that you can hold.
It needs to be at least 99.5% pure
Wow.
or 24 carats.
Okay.
You might have heard of American Gold Eagles
Hmm.
or Canadian Gold Maple Leafs.
Okay.
Those are very common choices for gold IRAs.
So we're talking about the real deal here. This isn't some kind of gold-related investment. This is actual
Physical gold that you own.
that I own.
Yes.
But where do you even keep this gold?
Right.
You can't just, like, stash it under your mattress.
No,
there.
definitely not under the mattress.
Okay.
The IRS is very, very strict about this.
Really?
You have to use an IRS-approved depository for storage.
What is that?
These are secure facilities specifically designed to hold precious metals.
Okay.
So security and safety are their top priorities.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be very safe or practical to have everybody
No, not at all.
storing their gold bars at home.
Exactly.
And speaking of rules, let's talk about the IRS guidelines.
Okay.
What are some of the key things that listeners need to know?
It's about setting up and managing a gold IRA.
Okay, so let's start with contribution limits.
Okay.
For 2025, you can contribute up to $6,500 if you're under 50
Okay.
or $7,500 if you're 50 or older.
Got it.
If you're thinking about moving funds from an existing IRA or 401k,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that through a rollover.
Yeah, rollovers can be a great way to get started with a gold IRA.
Yes.
But what are some things that listeners should keep in mind
Mhm.
to make sure that the process goes smoothly
Yeah.
and they avoid any penalties?
The most important thing is to complete that rollover within 60 days
Okay.
to avoid any tax penalties.
Got it.
We generally recommend a direct rollover
Mm-hmm.
where the funds are transferred directly from one custodian to another.
Okay.
This is usually the most straightforward way to ensure everything stays compliant.
Perfect. So we've covered the gold itself. We know where it's stored.
Mm-hmm.
We've touched on contribution limits and rollovers.
Yep.
But what about the tax advantages?
Oh,
Those are a big reason that people choose IRAs in the first place.
absolutely. One of the major perks of a gold IRA is tax-deferred growth.
Okay.
This means that your earnings within the account can grow over time
Mm-hmm.
without being taxed immediately.
So you're essentially giving your investments more room to grow
Exactly.
before taxes even come into play.
That's right.
And that can make a big difference in the long run,
Yes,
especially for retirement planning.
for sure.
But eventually taxes will need to be paid, right?
Yeah, that's right. Taxes come into play when you start taking distributions
Okay.
from your gold IRA.
Right.
If you have a traditional gold IRA, you'll be subject to required minimum distributions,
Right.
or RMDs,
Mm-hmm.
starting at age 73.
Okay.
However, if you choose a Roth Gold IRA,
Mm.
which is funded with after-tax dollars,
Right.
you can actually enjoy tax-free distributions down the road.
So there are different types of gold IRAs with different tax implications,
Yes,
depending on your individual situation and goals. It sounds like choosing the right type is pretty crucial.
it is.
And that's probably another area where professional advice would be really helpful.
Absolutely. A qualified financial advisor can help you weigh the pros and cons of each option
Hmm.
and help you determine which type of gold IRA best aligns with your overall retirement plan.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now let's talk about estate planning.
Okay.
What happens to a gold IRA when it's time to pass on your wealth?
That's a great question. A lot of people are thinking about not just their own retirement, but also how to provide for their loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
So how does a gold IRA factor into that?
Well, gold IRAs, just like other assets, are usually part of your taxable estate.
Okay.
However, there's a special rule for spouses.
Okay.
They can actually inherit a gold IRA
Hmm.
without facing any estate taxes.
Oh, wow.
And that's thanks to something called the unlimited marital deduction.
So that makes sense, but what if you're not passing the IRA on to a spouse?
Right.
Are there ways to minimize the tax burden for other heirs?
There certainly are. Tools like irrevocable trusts can be incredibly valuable for reducing that potential estate tax exposure.
Okay.
It gets a bit complex, though, so seeking guidance from a qualified estate planning attorney is always recommended.
So it's about being proactive and thinking ahead,
Yes,
especially when it comes to something as important as your legacy.
absolutely.
Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how gold IRAs can actually fit into your overall retirement strategy.
Okay,
It's not just about having the gold, it's about how it works with your other investments.
exactly. One of the fundamental principles of investing is diversification,
Right.
not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Gold IRAs can play a really crucial role in diversifying your portfolio.
So you're spreading out the risk
Mm-hmm.
by including assets that behave differently
Yes,
under different economic conditions.
that's right.
Some might be high growth but volatile. Others, like gold, might be more stable.
Precisely. Gold is often viewed as a hedge against inflation. When prices of goods and services increase, the value of gold tends to rise as well.
So by allocating a portion of your retirement savings to gold, you're potentially safeguarding your purchasing power down the road.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
especially given the current economic climate.
Mhm.
But how much should someone realistically consider allocating the gold within their portfolio?
Yeah.
Is there a general guideline?
A common recommendation is to allocate around 5–10% to precious metals as a hedge.
Okay.
Of course, this isn't a hard and fast rule.
Right.
The ideal allocation will depend on your individual risk tolerance, investment goals,
Mm-hmm.
and overall financial situation.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot between risk and return.
Yes.
Gold may not offer the same potential for huge gains as some high-flying stocks,
Right?
but it can provide a sense of stability and peace of mind when things get a little turbulent.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's about finding that right balance for your comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to remember gold's historical performance.
Yeah.
Over the long term, it has consistently demonstrated its ability to preserve wealth and act as a safe haven during those periods of economic uncertainty.
Speaking of the long term, we should also mention that gold IRAs can be a powerful tool for passing on wealth to future generations.
Yes.
It's not just about securing your own retirement. It's about potentially benefiting your heirs as well.
Absolutely. You can designate a trust as the beneficiary of your gold IRA,
Okay.
giving you more control over how those assets are distributed to your loved ones.
Gotcha.
And with something called stretch IRA provisions, your heirs might be able to extend the tax-deferred growth of the account
Wow.
for an even longer period.
So it's about building a legacy
Mm-hmm.
that can potentially shield future generations from some of the tax burdens that come with traditional inheritance.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
It's about using these tools strategically to maximize benefits for both you and your heirs.
For sure. Now, there's a crucial point to emphasize here, though.
Okay.
There are certain prohibited transactions that can disqualify your gold IRA.
That's right.
For example,
Yeah.
you absolutely cannot personally use the gold
Correct.
that's held within the account.
That's right.
So no taking a gold bar out for a spin, so to speak.
That's right. The IRS is very, very strict
Okay.
about maintaining the integrity of these retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Any personal use of the gold or transactions with disqualified parties can lead to some serious penalties, including taxes and even disqualification of the entire account.
Wow.
Compliance with the rules is absolutely paramount.
That's a great point, and it highlights the importance of working with a reputable custodian who understands the ins and outs of gold IRAs.
Yes.
And for those of you looking for help in choosing the right gold IRA company, we have a free checklist available at goldirablueprint.com, fame exclusive.
Awesome.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of what a gold IRA is to tax advantages, estate planning considerations, and how it could fit into your portfolio.
That's right.
But what are some key takeaways that you think our listeners should really remember?
Yeah, it's almost like having a financial roadmap for your retirement, wouldn't you say? You wouldn't set out on a cross-country road trip without a map.
Right.
Similarly, navigating the world of gold IRAs is a lot smoother with some expert guidance.
Yeah, I completely agree. Think of it as having a knowledgeable co-pilot who can help you anticipate challenges and avoid any wrong turns and ultimately reach your destination more efficiently.
Absolutely. And speaking of reaching your destination, you mentioned earlier that gold IRAs might not offer the same explosive growth potential as some stocks. Could you elaborate on that a bit more?
Sure. While gold has historically held its value well, and even appreciated during those times of economic uncertainty, it's not typically considered a high-growth asset in the same way that certain stocks can be.
Stocks represent ownership in a company.
Okay.
And if that company performs well, the value of your shares can increase significantly.
Right.
Gold, on the other hand, is more of a store of value.
Okay.
Its price tends to fluctuate based on factors like inflation, interest rates, and global demand.
So it's about understanding the different roles that various assets play within a diversified portfolio.
Yes.
Stocks might offer the potential for higher returns, but they also come with greater risk. Gold, as you said, is more about preservation and stability.
Precisely. It's about finding that right balance for your individual circumstances and risk tolerance.
Right.
And for some investors, the peace of mind that comes with having a tangible asset like gold in their portfolio can outweigh the potential for missing out on some of the more dramatic swings of the stock market.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not about chasing the latest hot stock tip. It's about building a solid foundation for long-term financial security. Now, wouldn't you say there are some potential downsides to gold IRAs as well?
Certainly, no investment is without its drawbacks.
Right.
One thing to consider with gold IRAs is liquidity.
Okay.
It's generally easier and faster to buy and sell stocks than it is to convert physical gold back into cash.
Okay.
There can also be storage fees associated with keeping your gold in a secure depository.
Those are important points to keep in mind. It's not just about the potential benefits. It's also about being aware of the potential costs and limitations.
Absolutely.
And I imagine there are other ways to hedge against inflation besides investing in gold.
Oh, absolutely. Real estate is often considered a good inflation hedge, as property values tend to rise along with the cost of living.
Right.
Commodities, such as oil and agricultural products, can also provide some protection against inflation.
Okay.
And then there are Treasury inflation-protected securities, or TIPS, which are government bonds that adjust their principal value based on changes in the Consumer Price Index.
So there's a whole range of options to explore, and a gold IRA is just one piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
It sounds like the key is to do your research, understand the risks and benefits, and make informed decisions that align with your overall financial goals.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to seek guidance from a qualified financial advisor. They can help you assess your individual situation, create a personalized plan, and navigate the complexities of the investment world.
That's great advice. It's all about empowering yourself with knowledge and having the right resources at your disposal.
Yes.
So, given everything we've discussed today, the potential benefits, the rules, the strategies, and the alternatives, here's a thought-provoking question for you, our listener.
Okay.
How might a gold IRA fit into your retirement plan?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
We've explored the ins and outs of gold IRAs.
We have.
But ultimately, the decision of whether and how to incorporate them into your own financial strategy is a personal one. It requires careful consideration of your individual circumstances, goals, and risk tolerance.
Absolutely. And for those listeners looking for more help with choosing a gold IRA company, remember we have that free checklist.
Yes.
At goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's a great resource.
Yeah, it really is.
It can really help you navigate that process.
It is about taking ownership of your financial future and making choices that align with your vision for a secure and fulfilling retirement.
Absolutely. It's never too early or too late to start planning for a future where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor with confidence and peace of mind.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of gold IRAs.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you found it valuable and insightful.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
and keep striving for a brighter